March 25th didn't scream, it whispered. And the whispers weren't comforting.
Across the world, small events slipped through the cracks. A grenade in a family box, a blackout that turned into a battlefield, a building drowned by one mistake, and a rescue that should never have been needed.
These aren't headlines, they're pressure points. And today, we press on them.
Hey, welcome back to our podcast here, Mind Warp. Of course, I'm Grandmaster. This is Badger. I'm going to take a little bit of the lead today, kind of because I lived in Italy for 5 years while I was in the military. So my wife and I, our oldest son was born there. A man in northern Italy, and I lived in northern Italy, discovered a live grenade while sorting through his late grandfather's possessions. Police evacuated the entire apartment building. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine going to a family member's house, looking through stuff, bringing up memories, all of a sudden, boom, there's a live grenade.
I mean, talk about hand-me-down. You know, I'm going to pass this down generation to generation. Hopefully it wasn't a live grenade, because sometimes grenades are dummy grenades, but and probably it was a World War II era grenade.
Right.
So I'd venture to say it's probably very dangerous, delicate.
I think it's hilarious. Like in today's day and age that we live in, if you talk about having a gun in the house, people lose their mind.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Imagine
you
a
gotta
grenade.
have it locked up. Can you even imagine? Hey, yeah, I was going through boxes of old pictures and came across this crazy grenade.
What's this pin for? What's this round thing? Let me just pull it. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, today's children or young people don't know what a grenade is, or because they're not allowed to. I mean, oh, you can't talk about a gun at school. You can't talk about a grenade for sure. This would be kind of like, this is why this news doesn't hit the newspapers,
right,
or the mainstream media, because this is something scary as hell. That this could have killed an entire family,
or more.
They're in an apartment building, so it could have blew. There could have been more. Bless you. There could have been more things going on. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I don't know why these things don't hit the news, but it's always the same old BS.
Well, you and I both know why it doesn't hit the news.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit the news because A, it's not going to get a lot of clicks, and B, it doesn't fit the narrative.
Well, here's one that fits the narrative. Okay. Down in South Africa, and not because it's South Africa, but down in South Africa, blackout leads to looting attempt at local mall. A looting attempt at a blackout. We loot here in America with the lights on. And in some states, as long as they don't take more than $1,200 or whatever that rule was, they're allowed to take it.
Right.
So that's just weird. But in South Africa, so a sudden power outage plunged a township mall into darkness. A small group attempted to break in. Security guards fought them off using only flashlights and metal gates. Now, in our country, if security guards hit somebody with a damn flashlight, right, and metal gates, they would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, even though they were protecting property of the place they worked at.
Correct.
In our country, they'd be liable.
Yes.
But a country like South Africa, who people, it's a third world country, blah, blah, blah. No, they have it right. You fight off for your property. These security guards did the right thing.
Right.
And again, they mentioned small group. Here it had been a large group of people trying to steal,
right,
which is weird to me, But I don't know. I think honestly,
well, darkness is it's a psychological trigger.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
a good way
do that at night because it adds that level of psychological warfare.
Yeah, and it causes chaos.
And exactly.
And then there's vulnerability. And then group behavior in darkness is always scary. That's one of those that's like a real small line between having order and total collapse.
Yes.
Of something, and unfortunately we're close to that here, to be honest.
And that's what's scary, is that there's very few people that understand where we are right now.
Yeah. Well, they don't want us to. So, okay, let's get a quick thing. When was the last time you heard about Mrs. Guthrie? Savannah's mom. That's off the air. I mean, a lot of this stuff is bait and switch.
The
The
Epstein
Epstein stuff
story.
gone. But see, I like that's why like our podcast, we want to find those news things. Some might be comical to people, like this next one coming up. It's kind of comical. But it's news. It's newsworthy and shows you what can happen. And to me, this is stuff that should be reported. It's not always doom and gloom. All right. Like these security guards in South Africa, they overtook the mob that was trying to go into this mall.
Would have been a great story to promote.
Oh, but it goes against the narrative.
Right.
Don't stand up, let them steal. It's okay. It's only $1,200. Right. So the other story we were just kind of hitting on, right? This is in the United Kingdom. Doesn't say exactly where in the UK, but a town hall flooded after worker, this would be me, hit sprinkler with ladder. So a maintenance worker accidentally struck a sprinkler head, flooding an entire municipal building. One mistake, one impact, and the building drowns.
Pressure doesn't always explode. Sometimes it leaks.
I'm telling you, I mean, what was this guy? I'd like to know how the heck that happened, and no one ran to turn the water off.
Well, and then you've got to think about the cascading consequences. So we don't know what floor this was on, main floor, upstairs, downstairs, whatever.
What age the building is?
Correct.
Because I mean, we're talking about old world, Italy.
Yep.
So we don't.
No, UK.
Oh, UK, still old world. So you're not sure which building, how the buildings were set up and lined up. Where is maybe this person just didn't know where the water turnoff was. It took the fire department getting there. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of those kind of that's. Could you imagine being that poor guy? He's probably not even a plumber at that point.
Yeah.
And he's probably not a plumber at all.
And you've got to feel gutted for that guy. I mean, only I guess I say that because I can picture myself in that situation.
Oh, I'd be that guy.
Still holding the ladder as it's spraying on me, going, oh.
Yeah. Now, here's a question. So, like, here you'd be liable. In America, you'd be liable
and he
have
would
to pay,
yep.
right? But I wonder how that is in the UK. I'm probably sure it's probably different. If it's an accident's an accident. There's no more accidents, in this.
Not in America.
No, there's always a consequence. Always somebody's got to get a pound of flesh. But this poor guy, I mean, if that was an accident, right? Obviously, he didn't mean to flood the whole floor. So, I mean, I wonder what his consequences were. So, if anybody that watches this knows, let us know. Give us some feedback on that.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to know, what was his consequences, which kind of leads us into another thing.
And this is hilarious.
Yeah, this is from Australia. A man rescued from chimney while trying to retrieve his cat. Now, we could take that a million different ways, but we're going to leave that alone. Firefighters rescued a man who climbed into a chimney to retrieve his missing cat and got stuck.
Desperation makes people crawl into places they were never, ever meant to fit in.
And sometimes the rescue says more than the mistake.
Right?
How do you answer that? Hey, help me. What are you doing? Chasing my cat? It's in a chimney?
And got stuck.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? I mean, seriously, you got the whole town, fire trucks rolling up, boom, lights on, everybody knows you. There you are sticking out of your chimney like again, that would be me.
Right.
That's why I don't have a chimney, obviously.
All right, sir. Let's move on to some sports.
All right, go ahead. You hit it up.
So in Brazil, an amateur boxer collapses after an extreme weight cut. An amateur fighter in Sao Paulo collapsed backstage after a brutal water cut for a tiny local bout. This wasn't a title fight. It wasn't a payday. This was identity pushed past the breaking point.
Well, I'm kind of curious as to why is he losing? Oh, he's losing so much weight to fight lower class or whatever.
Yes.
Lower belt rank, so kind of like self-destruction in disguise. I mean,
it really is.
I can understand losing weight, maybe gaining weight to get into fights, but I mean, how much he must have lost too much.
Well, and that's been a story that has followed wrestling, especially in the high school levels through the Olympics. Now you're dealing with it in mixed martial arts, the UFC, One Fighting Championship, all of those. These bigger guys want to cut down to get into that lighter weight class because they think they'll have the advantage. The problem is they're not realizing what damage that does to your organs.
You're getting weaker. I mean, if you're used to being a certain weight or whatever, training in a certain weight, you lose that weight like real quick. You become weak. It's no different than gaining a lot of weight. You lose something on both sides of the spectrum. So that's kind of dangerous. That's a dangerous game that I think the rules committee should be more involved in. But that stuff's kind of a wild, wild west thing.
It very much is.
Boxing's all about money, so.
Yep. So in Eastern Europe, a semi-pro hockey game was abandoned. Listen to this. After a stick attack.
Stick being the
what they use to play in hockey.
You know what we do? That's what they do in the U.S., right? The NHL, don't they?
Right?
They have goons that fight.
Yes. A semi-pro hockey match was halted after a defenseman snapped and swung his stick at an opponent's head.
That's no longer a game. I guess that's a war now.
Yeah.
But that's something that goes on in hockey. Okay, but that's newsworthy because that's not allowed. I mean, dangerous play is dangerous play. But I can remember back in the day, they used to slap in the face with a hockey stick. I mean, there was all kinds of dirty play, but they've regulated now. But that just shows you how dangerous. I mean, this guy lost his mind, this player, and attacked the guy. It goes beyond that there's always going to be a fight in hockey or whatever. That goes beyond that, because this could be fatal.
Absolutely.
You could have accidentally killed a guy.
Well, it's the aggression under the stress that all of these guys are kind of floating on the edge, just waiting for the tipping point. And obviously, this guy's tipping point happened and he went playing home run.
Yeah. Well, obviously March, the last March 25th didn't trend. It kind of cracked, I guess, in the back doors.
And those cracks, you see the truth about people, pressure, and the mind under strain.
Well, thank you for joining us today for this little podcast. Keep it going. We'll be on YouTube too. So stay sharp, stay awake, and stay tactical. Remember to be kind.
Have a great day.